Today, we're going to start with the second class, and the second class is going to be about how to write a paragraph. Have you got any questions before we start? Can you tell me, what do you understand by a paragraph?
Okay, for me, a paragraph contains like a complete idea, but with a structure. For example, at the beginning of the paragraph,
Yeah.
there you need to write a small introduction to what you are trying to explain on that paragraph.
Yeah.
It's like a mini complete text. I don't know if I explain myself, but the thing is that it also contains an introduction, the development of the idea, and at the end of the paragraph, you must sum up what you have written.
I think that you have a clear idea of what a paragraph is, right? And topic sentence is the first sentence in a paragraph. It is important to remember that the topic sentence has two parts. And one part is the topic, and the second part is what we call the controlling idea, right? I'm going to example paragraph Sophocles.
Sophocles, the Greek dramatist, was greatly admired for his tragedies. Oedipus was his most famous tragedy, and Aristotle praised it as the finest example of dramatic irony. Sophocles wrote over 130 plays. Even though he was so prolific, he placed won over 20 first prizes at drama festivals.
All right, thank you very much for your clear and wonderful reading, right? So,
thank you.
Can you see the first sentence? We have Sophocles, and then we have the great dramatist, right? Was greatly admired for his tragedies. So, what do you think here is the topic sentence?
That he was a great writer. He was a dramatist. Yes.
All right, that would be then the complete sentence. But what is the topic? Just the topic.
Sophocles.
Sophocles, right? We can also add the great dramatist, right? And then we have the controlling idea that would be the rest. Greatly admired for his tragedies, right? This is very important. And according to that sentence, we have to find supporting ideas to clarify the idea that Sophocles was an admired dramatist, right? Sentences, circle the topic, the subject in this case, and underline the controlling idea. For example, Swiss watches are popular because of the fine craftsmanship with which they are made. The topic would be then Swiss watches, and the rest would be then the controlling idea. It means that in that paragraph, we're going to write about the Swiss watches, not about the, I don't know, quartz watches, just Swiss watches. And the topic, the controlling idea, we're going to speak about the craftsmanship, right? Can you help me with the rest? Let me see. I'm going to find someone. David Araneda. David, can you help me with sentence number 1?
Okay, the topic sentence would be mudslinging and personal attacks.
All right.
And the controlling sentence, right?
Controlling idea.
Yes, a controlling idea. Turn off some people when it comes to politics.
All right, very good. Can we move on to the second one, to the second sentence? Francisca, can you help me with the second sentence?
Yes. The topic idea would be, the subject, the students, and the controlling idea would be dislike high school because of social glitches, I don't know how to say, cliques and favoritism for some students.
All right, thank you very much. If you can enter to the file that says, let me see, research questions. Can you go there? In
Yes.
research question, open the file, and you will see there a file that says doing research, right? And are you with
Yes.
me?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. The process for most writers, we usually start
Yes.
with the prompt, right? As I told you, the prompt are the questions that you have to read about in order to write your paragraph. And then we have to start with research. As I told you, we have to use papers, right? Qualitative and quantitative papers. Then you have to take a position. This is very, very important, because if you don't take a position, that would be just a descriptive essay. And I want you to take a position, right? And then you create an outline. Those are the basic steps that you have to follow whenever you write an essay, right? Then, for example, in this case, we have an essay prompt: analyze the growth of Apple's market share since the introduction of the iMac. And here we have some questions you could ask to guide your research. Whenever we see the verb, we have to ask some questions to ourselves, right? For example, in this case, what were the statistics on Apple's market share growth prior to and since the introduction of the iMac? All right. So in this case, we should look for that specific information. All right. What factors have contributed to this growth? So with those questions, we can start probably selecting the papers that we need to answer the question, right? Written. Can you see that there are some verbs that are circle? The first one is assess, right? The second is discuss. Then we have a third one, make comparisons. And the last one, include. Whenever you read the prompt, it is very important to circle, all right, those verbs in order to understand what you should do. Each verb means something different. In this case, you have to go through 4 different things. Many students fail the writing or fail the task just because they don't follow the instructions. Okay, they start just writing, but they don't pay attention to what they should do in order to write a clear essay, right? So first of all, we talk about the topic sentence, right? We have to understand that each paragraph starts with a topic sentence. One paragraph discusses one topic, okay? If we want to speak about different topics, we have to write different paragraphs. The topic sentence is divided into 2 parts. The topic, which is the subject, okay? And the controlling idea. The controlling idea is like a framework that direct what we are going to write about in the paragraph. We cannot write about other things, right? And then we discuss the prompts. In the prompts, whenever we want to write an essay, there are some prompts that we have to take into account. Those prompts have some specific instructions. In these instructions include verbs. One of those verbs is the word discussing. We're going to focus on discussion because we're going to be dealing with argumentative essays. When we discuss a topic, we have to take a position, right? And when we discuss a position, we have to show the advantages and disadvantages of the topics that we are developing. In order to convince the reader that our position is correct, we have to use strong evidence. Strong evidence can be taken from different sources, but the main sources, the strongest sources are those that we find in papers, in academic papers. The papers are divided into two parts: qualitative papers, which use interviews, also observation, right? And not many people are involved in the qualitative research. On the other hand, we have quantitative papers. And quantitative papers involve a lot of numbers and statistics and a lot of people. In order to make our argument strong, it is good for us to use both types of papers, qualitative and quantitative. The more number or the more citation a paper has is more influential. So my advice is that you use authorities, those people who are authorities. It's good for you to recognize who the authorities are in the field of the topic. For example, in English, we have a person who is called Jeremy Harmer. I don't know, have you heard about Jeremy Harmer?
Yes.
He's an authority, right, in English language teaching. So if you say that Jeremy Harmer said blah, 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 it means that you are convincing, right? But, and that's it for this week. If you have any questions or something that probably will arise during the week, just send me an email. We can sort it out. Got any questions before we say goodbye?
No.